questions of space, because the cathedral itself, of course, consists of quite different spaces. And there are going to be some very intriguing things, like looking at how air flows in some of the large spaces here, such as the nave. We'll also be looking at how the voice, the human voice, and how sound actually works in these extraordinary medieval buildings. It's often said that these medieval buildings, these churches, are actually completed by sound.
There was an ambition of scale about some of the projects, which produced a completely unexpected effect. The large map filling the floor of half the chapter house. That was at once impressive but also very welcoming. It meant that the austere effect of an ancient and very large building could become more human in its scale by bringing in things which connected people with their environment or with the past.
Well, my idea was to actually introduce this chart to the public, because good public of Canterbury does not know about this, and it is one and only and the first ever geomorphological map of any place anywhere on Earth.
I mean, the opportunity to be doing a PhD here at Kent, looking at these war cemeteries is a dream come true. It's really rewarding to feel that this research that could so easily go off onto a shelf somewhere and gather dust, that through things like this festival there's an opportunity for it to kind of get a life, as it were, of its own.
The Sensory Walks is a project we developed with funding from the Arts and Humanities Research Council, and it's a project trying to bring people to cross the threshold of the Christ Church gate and go into the presence of the cathedral. And again, it tries to make people move outside the comfort zone and try to experience space through their senses. So instead of just their eyes or visual perception, try to hear, smell, taste, and also feel the environment around them.
So Canterbury Cathedral and the University of Kent have a memorandum of understanding about how we can work more closely together. And Questions of Space Festival Ideas is a way of embodying that.
The walking of the condemned criminal from to the place of execution is a really integral part of the entire execution ritual. It's a very significant part. It's called the drawing. So we draw a prisoner from the prison out to the execution site. So we tend to focus these days on the horrible execution itself, but the drawing was a moment in which the entire community could come out and be part of the ritual. And so they would line the route and sometimes jeer, sometimes pray, sometimes laugh, sometimes sing, depending on how they felt about the prisoner. And it was a real sense that the community was involved in this punishment of the criminal, this kind of expiation of the crime and the sin. And if everyone got involved in this way, then somehow the sin and the crime was removed from the community.
My name's Karen Jones. I'm from the School of History. I'm an environmental historian, so I'm interested in the interaction between place and people over time. I'm interested in landscapes and plants and animal history as well. Obviously a big part of the medieval cathedral is the cloister space and the idea of contemplation and walking, and the use of nature as a place where you kind of find that spiritual connection and solitude.
The cathedral has many saints, which I didn't know existed in the cathedral. So when you think of the cathedral, you think of Thomas Becket, but yet I discovered saints that are from outside England, St Eustace and Apollonia, for example. Also, I'm also interested in the way that saints can come to a worshipper in different ways, can manifest in different ways, in physical forms, through a text. The way I'm looking at the way the saints manifest in the cathedral is through paintings, through wall bosses, through icons, and each saint has a really interesting story. 7, 7, 6, 6, 5. There we go.
The Heritage Lottery Fund's remit is to engage people with heritage, and it's quite a simple remit when you explain it like that, but it's looking at people who are not currently involved with their own heritage or their cultural heritage or built heritage, and so it's our job to invite people here, but to find ways of inviting them in that are quite unexpected or exciting. And so for us, part of this project has been the behind the scenes, and that's the exciting areas that we know the new audiences will be really interested in, such as the stonemasons' work, the stained glass studios, the herb gardens that we're in at the moment, opening up the archives, exhibiting the collections, and that's the bit that's going to bring in a new audience.
As soon as you start talking to a person who's not experienced the building before, you learn more about it, because their reaction and their interpretation of it is always unique. Everybody's take on it is different, and so the more people that you involve and interact with, I think particularly for a very static workforce, which is what we are, you know, people come here, they love it so much they don't leave. It's like me, you know, why would I want to go? I'm a stonemason, I started as a stonemason. Why would I want to go and work anywhere else? It's all here. So you need that challenge and that, you know, that those different insights. You need that all the time to keep you fresh and yeah, to challenge you, make you question what you do and why you do it. So, and something like Questions of Space does that. That's what it's all about.